Hey everybody, this is Barry Zundel from Trapdoor Creative, makers of Stage, and today I want to do a really quick walkthrough of how to use the SolidWorks plugin for Stage. The first thing you'll want to do before opening SolidWorks is install the plugin. So when you download that, it's just a Windows exe file. Double click that. That will include all of the runtime code and everything that you need for your plugin to work appropriately. And when you install that and then you open up SolidWorks, you should come up with this tab right here called Stage. Now, inside of this tab, it has a few different options. It has Open in Stage, which will just send the data directly over. It has Update, which means that as you work on it, if it's in Stage already, you can just hit Update and it will send updates over to Stage. It also has Render with Stage, which will allow you to automate lots of renderings inside of Stage and, without leaving SolidWorks. And then it also has your settings. So we're going to go to Settings first. We'll just open up this window. It opens this up. Now in your settings, it just has the location of your install, which you don't need to change, and then the folder of where you want to store any temporary data or the data that gets exported from SolidWorks. So it's a good place to put it in a place where you can have write access and read access. And then also connect your Stage account to it. So whatever your Stage account login is, just click here and say login, and it will connect your Stage account to it. That allows you to have access to this Render with Stage options here. Okay, so we'll get into that in just a second, but let's just kind of walk through this. So one of the things that you want to keep in mind getting ready to send data over to Stage is to prep your model and make sure that it has all the materials that it needs assigned correctly. Because without that, then it's really hard to assign materials inside of Stage. So this one has materials all assigned to it. This is a model I got off of GrabCAD. I can't remember the guy's name, but did a great job. It looks awesome. So props to him. But I'm just going to send this. I'm going to hit Open in Stage. Now what this is going to do, depending on the complexity of your model, it's going to send all that data over pretty rapidly. And it'll open that up, and it gives me all of this right here. So here is my model. Directly over from SolidWorks. It brought over the materials, so it has all the material properties that were on the model in SolidWorks, and I'm good to go. I could actually start doing some rendering right now if I want to. But if I wanted to make some changes, I could go over to SolidWorks over here. I'm just going to move this window over here a little bit. I could go back over to SolidWorks over here. Oh, that's right here, and I could come in and change something or change the model in some way, and then I could go to Update in Stage, and what it would do is it would just resend it back over to Stage so that it has the latest model there. So that's what that button is for. Now, rendering with Stage allows you to use cameras that you've already set up inside of Stage to do automated rendering in Stage behind the scenes. So the cool thing about this is if you've watched the videos about Stage already, which you should have, there's lighting, right? There's animations that you can set up. There are camera presets, view presets that you can look at and you can create. Okay, so there's just a lot of presets that you can use. Once you set those up in Stage, you can actually come in here. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go Render with Stage, and then I'm going to fill this out. I'm going to render locally. I want my renders to be 1920 by 1080. I want them to be to go to this folder. I want it to use the sweep scene and the 3-point lighting, and then I'll just have this. And then what I can do is I want this to add a still image batch. So I'm going to render some stills. Now I want it to auto frame the subject. This is going to be gone because there's no avatars in SolidWorks, but this will be gone from the plugin quick here soon. And then I just want a right, front, back, left, and that's about it, right? So that's all I really care about. And then I'm going to use all the defaults. So I'm just going to say render batch. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to export that, like instead of opening Stage, it's going to just open Stage behind the scenes and start rendering it. Okay, so it's open Stage, it opens the scene, it's going to start rendering, boom, render, 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 and last one, right there. So very quickly, I got all the renders that I need, from this, and I'm just going to go in here and go to SolidWorks, and there are my renders right here. Okay, now I rendered it twice, not from this, but from another render session. But you can see, like if I just go take all these 2s out of here, like this is the renders that I got. Okay, so these are all renders that just came from that. Now, if I want to go back over and switch I'm going to delete all these right here. Now, if I want to go back over in here and I want to change materials, I can do that in here, or I can do it in Stage. Let's just go to Stage so you can see how to drag drop materials in that, and then I think we're good to go. You can get going in it. But basically what it's doing is it's going to open up this model, and since I have all the materials set already, I can start to drag and drop from the material library. Now, these are DLC content that if you go to materials, you can download this automotive one, and then there's some basics, but this really has the metals and stuff. But by the time we release it, we'll have another pack for you guys to use. But what I can do here is I can go, okay, there's a bunch of these metals and these automotive ones. I mean, I could do like car paint on it or something like that, right? Let's do this like car paint mix one. That's pretty cool. But, you know, this is probably not going to look like that. But you can do this. You can switch the metals here. I can go into the metal here and say, like, I want this one to be like a worn chrome kind of stuff. So it looks like that, right? The spark plugs look good, but maybe this part right here, I want it to be a little darker. So I can look at this. I can go like to brushed metal and drop it on there. Okay. So now it's kind of like a brushed metal, but we could even do like steel, you know, drop it on there. Now this steel, you can see what that steel looks like in here. So really quickly, I can do this. Now, if I have this colorway set up, which is right here, I'm just going to name it cool, like this. Okay. I can come into batch render right here, and I can do a bunch of batch rendering. Okay. So I could do all the same stuff right here. I'm going to change this. We'll go Stage. We'll go rendering. Oops, sorry, desktop renders. Here we go. SolidWorks. Go right here. Okay, we'll do all this. Output folder. This is all good. I can render this, so I'll just hit render. There we go. So it's just going to render these for me. Now it looks yellow because it's a flat face at me, but that's okay. So now I can come back to that folder, right? SolidWorks right here. Here's my renders that I just got. Boom, 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 like that. Okay? So you can really kind of go back and forth. You can either render straight from SolidWorks if you want to use the materials here, or you can render directly in Stage with the materials that you set up inside of Stage. So, and this is persistent. So this stays with the model, and I can swap between the embedded and cool, like that. So hopefully that helps you get started with the plugin, and we're really excited to see what you guys are doing with it and all the cool stuff that comes out of it. So start rendering, start making animations, and we'd love to see that.